Hello everybody, and here we are in the beautiful Rogue Valley Manor Library. I feel like I should be whispering, but that's almost impossible for a girl like me, so Debbie is here for her first, Debbie Watt, by the way, from Resident Services, for her very first episode of Good Day RVM.
And it's a new day, so let's stay connected.
Yes! We've got some great current events for you, and Debbie's going to top it off right now.
Yeah, we're going to start talking about a pickleball tournament that's coming up. Yeah, it's at the Fitchner Mainwaring Park, and it's the 2021 Medford Summer Classic put on by the Southern Oregon Pickleball Association. It's June 4th, 5th, and 6th, and registration closes on May 27th. So if that seems like interest to you, you just need to go to their website, which is sopickle.com, and sign up for some fun.
I totally love pickles. Are they going to have pickles there?
I hope so.
Well, I do know that the marketing office is actually going to have a table set up, and they're going to be handing out some goodies to people. I think there's other departments going to be there too, just to be a part of the pickleball.
They should have a pickle bar, gherkins and cornichons.
Oh man, I was thinking pickle martinis.
Well, that's good too. I mean, salt levels are good for when you're sweating out in the sun.
Also, another grand thing that's happening, and that's going to be on June 9th. Look for the signups to be out there. They're going to be everywhere, and it is for the Wine Stroll. The Wine Stroll is down in the lower 40. And you need to get yourself signed up soon because the space is limited. There are 5 local wineries that are going to be set up, different stations, and timing is going to be good for social distancing. But please, this one's going to be grand. And thank you, Sarah Carnatz, and your wonderful team. You guys always come up with some great ideas to have a little bit of fun. How about some other current events, Debbie?
Oh gosh, there's the Lake Village Yacht Club Regatta that's currently going on, but by the time you see this, we currently don't know who the winner is. But on May 19th will be the finals of that, so be looking for who the winner was at, because, I mean, who doesn't love a good regatta?
I know. I love regatta cheese.
I know, right? It's one of my favorites, too.
Anyway, okay, and then not to be forgotten, of course, I love the Thursday night concerts, and it is aired on Channel 900, but also now, because the dining services have moved into the auditorium, if you go at 7 or later, you will get a live concert. And Thursday, the 20th, is the SOU Clarinet Trio. And then the 27th will be the SOU Singers, and that's led by Paul French. So anyway, you know what? A whole different thing. You've got dinner entertainment now.
Oh, that's
that place
right.
is going to be in hot demand.
That's where I'd want to be.
Yeah. So, Debbie, one of the things that I've been so excited to get to know you better about is you have quite the history of being quite a book nerd, so to speak, and we decided that this will be a new segment in our show, and that's going to be called Books with Academia.
Well, we're going to start off by featuring the May highlighted books in the RVM library. They are currently about the state of Oregon and different aspects of the state of Oregon. The whole table is filled right when you just go into the library off to the left by the fireplace. Just a couple of them that caught my eye were books on the Pacific Crest Trail, the Applegate area, Crater Lake, wildflowers, and of course I saw the book on wine. So come check it out. And for me personally, I like to recommend books, and one that's really caught my eye right now that hasn't come out yet. It's in August. It's called The Last Mona Lisa, and it goes under this. It's like a thriller novel on a fake Mona Lisa, and they're trying to figure out how many fakes are out there. And it starts in 1911 Paris, and I'm so excited because I don't get to travel right now, so this book is taking me there. Plus, it doesn't come out until August, so when I pre-order it, by the time it comes in August, it feels like a really treat because I totally forget. that I ordered anything. So I would recommend that one to you. That's not quite an academic book. That is a fiction book. I call those popcorn books, but we'll get into that more at a different time.
Academia coming
Academia.
I love it. You know, a small fact about the Pacific Crest Trail. My dad built part of that. In Northern California, he built part of that, and there was another area in Southern Oregon.
I didn't realize that there was building with the trail.
Well, you have to build the trail. You got to cut the way through and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I look like I do that, right?
Well, now I'm feeling like the one that knows something that Debbie doesn't know.
I feel a new segment coming on.
What Debbie doesn't know. Ooh, challenge accepted.
Yes,
Okay, so let me
lot.
just ask you, do you know what grounding is or earthing is?
I do. I have an idea about it, but you probably know a lot more about it.
I'm not talking about when you were in junior high and you got caught doing something you shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is something I'm a little interested in right now. I watched a documentary on it, and I'm trying it myself. And what it is you can go outside, walk barefoot or stand barefoot in the grass or in the dirt, whatever you choose. Some people choose actually to lay in the grass. Now, I'm not quite there yet, but it is supposed to be so good for you. A little bit of the information I've got is that it benefits chronic fatigue, chronic pain, anxiety and depression, sleep disorders, and it even has been known to help cardiovascular disease like with hypertension. And what it is there's an electrical force, and there's also minerals that you would absorb through your skin. So it's like a topical medication.
Is that why I saw you laying down on the lower 40?
I thought nobody saw me. How embarrassing. We thought it would be really appropriate to interview our brand new co-host, Debbie. Debbie Watt, everybody.
Do a little.
Hello, everybody, and here we are with our brand new co-host, Debbie Watt. And today I just wanted to interview her so that we could all get to know her a little bit better for our show. Debbie, we're so lucky to have you here at RVM.
Oh, thank you.
Where was your humble beginnings? Where did you grow up?
Well, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I was born in Salem, Oregon.
Ooh!
Yeah,
Okay.
So native Oregonian girl, but I grew up in the Monmouth and Independence area, which is about 20 miles outside of Salem.
And now, did you have siblings, or do you have siblings?
I have a half sibling. I had a brother with my mom, and then I have two half sisters on my dad's side that I did not grow up with.
Oh, and you landed where in this pack?
I'm the oldest.
Okay, of course you are. She's a born
Shocking!
leader.
Shocking.
So school-wise, I know you're quite the academia person, and I'm wondering where that all began. Where'd you go to college?
Well, after high school, I went to Oregon State, and I was going to study economics because I was really good at accounting, so I thought, yeah, let's take it up a notch, and that was not for me. I was not prepared to, I just didn't want to be there. So I ended up going back to college after my kids were older.
Oh, wow.
And so I finished my bachelor's and my master's at the University of Washington.
So you're like one of those superhero moms that has kids and goes to school, and not only just goes to school, she gets a, I go to pottery school. You get a master's and all of that. What exactly was your master's in?
It's a master's in library and information science.
Okay, explain that to me.
Well, it's about library systems, but it's also about the study of information. So how people access information, how they find information, how the information seeking, which helps you build better interactive databases by understanding the user and how they access information.
So, okay, for me that I'm not real familiar with this, does that mean that you are a fantastic listener, that you're able to see where the words are coming from and the emotions behind them? Is that what you're referring to?
I think I'm really good at context. and trying to understand things from other people's perspectives rather than mine. And I'm really good at asking clarifying questions.
Wow.
Yeah.
That goes beyond just schooling to me. I think that's a gift that you have. I think that's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
So lucky us to have this woman here in resident services now.
Yes.
But before you were in resident services, what brought you down to Southern Oregon? And tell me about your life here in Southern Oregon.
Oh, well, of course, it was a guy that brought me down to Southern Oregon. His name is Kevin Watt, and we've known each other since we were 13 years old, and you know how life just brings you back.
Yes, I
It's
do.
that full circle, and somebody who was just always a friend my entire life, and it just took all 30 years for us to reconnect.
To blossom into
That's
love.
right, yeah.
Okay, so you're here in Southern Oregon. What's been your career path here in Southern Oregon?
Oh, well, I started out in the library system here. I was floating. I would go to all the branches. So I've been and worked in every single branch for the Jackson County Library. But I wasn't working in a librarian role. I would do reference desk occasionally. But mostly I was just doing shelf stocking, and I was only making $10.50 an hour. And I had to find a job that paid more
Right, okay.
than that. So as much as that broke my heart, because I would love to be in the libraries and doing all of that, it wasn't the place to be here in Southern Oregon.
Well, I know I know your heart may be a little bit sad about that, but we're glad you're here.
Oh, I'm glad
We're
I'm here
so
too.
lucky to have you.
Because what I loved about libraries is empowering people and giving them information and making their lives better. So I definitely get that met here.
Yeah.
That part is met here. I'm not stocking shelves. I don't have a book cart. It's okay. Yeah. I still get to dress like a librarian, so it's all okay too.
So you started in the foundation office. How long were you in the foundation office?
Roughly a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you moved into the resident services.
Yes.
And your daily job here, I don't think people realize, I mean, this is a busy job. And what does a day look like for you here in resident services?
It's a lot about listening to concerns from all residents, whether that's about their food quality, if they're concerned about their neighbor, making sure their information is updated as far as personal representatives, emergency contacts, if they have questions about advanced directives. We also, you're dealing with family a lot after somebody has passed and helping walk them through the process and navigate it while they're going through some heavy emotions. And, keeping the directory up to date, keeping the resident handbook up to date, keeping my RVM up to date. So a lot of data entry and a lot of talking with people about their feelings.
So your people skills are being maximized.
Yes.
So what are your hobbies? What do you like to do on your free time?
I like to plan to do craft projects and buy everything for them and then not necessarily get them done.
Do you have a craft room for all of this stuff?
I have an office and there's a lot of things in there. And I will get a little bit of it done, but I think I'm just more of an expert at buying craft items, not necessarily doing them.
I'm loving this because I'm getting to know things about you. We're sort of opposites, and yet we collide in the middle, and I love that because I can't even go into a craft store. There's too much, and I can't pick out one thing.
Oh.
So you pick it out, and I'll
then
come
you'll
over
do
and
it.
put it together. How's that?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
I mean, I just love to be creative.
Yeah.
It's just, I think I have adult onset ADHD.
I like you even more. Well, okay, and I understand also that you love to read.
I do love to read.
Yes,
Yes,
and that's a good pastime.
that went with the library degree.
Yes, yeah.
Actually, we used to joke that it was the quickest way to kill your love of reading was to go to library school. Because it really does change the way you read a book.
Oh, wow.
Because when I read a book now, especially fiction, I'm reading it and thinking, who would want to read this book?
Oh.
So that I'm breaking it down that way. Like, who would like this kind of character development? Who would like this aspect of this book? Yeah. It really does change it. So it's really hard to just turn that off and enjoy enjoy a story.
Just look at the pictures. Picture this, people. We have a wonderful new person that's joining us, and I feel so lucky. Welcome aboard, Debbie.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time now and in the future.
Gosh, well, I would say that's quite enough about me. Let's move on to somebody just a little, like a lot more interesting than me. So I am doing a resident shout out to Tim Miller. Tim Miller moved here on the weekend we shut down for COVID.
That's right.
Talk about a memorable day to move into the manor. He and his wife Maggie moved in, and they've been married for 32 years. And they met in Ashland. They have 16 grandchildren and
Wow.
8 great-grandchildren. But what you might not know is that Tim is really super involved and amazing at pickleball. He's been a certified instructor for 8 years. He's an ambassador for the USA Pickleball Association, and he developed the Eagle Crest Resort Pickleball Club. And of course, he's sharing his knowledge here in RVM with all the residents. He is very athletic. He is involved in so many different sports. I think he's really just an adrenaline junkie, even in the water. Gosh, I have 3 pages here. I'm trying to find everything he did, because I can't cover it all. And he also volunteers. He does Meals on Wheels, he teaches judo, he teaches tennis, finances, and even now he's trying to play the didgeridoo.
Oh, that's right. I saw an article on him that he was learning that through the whole COVID shutdown.
I think the didgeridoo is bigger than I am. I don't think I could. And he's really looking forward to joining the water ball, which that's popular too. So hopefully that gets back on. His life goal, that is just amazing, is just sometimes a smile is all someone needs. So remember that when you're out today, and find Tim and be his friend.
I love it.
It's well worth it.
I did my shout out on someone that is marvelous. She is an unsung hero, I believe, here at RVM. She's a mild-mannered and doesn't like too much attention, I found out as I tried to drag information out of her. But Sheila Johnson, she is our business office manager, and she has been here at the Rogue Valley Manor for 14 years. And anyway, I found out she was born in Baker City, but she grew up in Prairie City, Oregon. That is a town that's about this big, and that's where she grew up. But when she turned 18, she blitzed out of there as quick as she could. She moved to Medford, Oregon, and she's been here in Medford, Oregon for 31 years. She married Mark Johnson 30 years ago. He works for IT with PRS, and I call them quite often because I have issues with my computer, and I love it when I get Mark because he's kind of a funny guy. So anyway, they are a great little duo that have 3 children, and all 3 of them work here at the manor. So one is in security and 2 are in dining services. And if you see them, you know who they are because they look like their mama and their daddy. I've seen them, and
Yes,
anyway, so she, I will say she's a self-proclaimed homebody, but they like to get out as a family and they like to go camping. So thank you, Sheila. Thank you for giving of yourself. I know that you're shy, and I appreciate you sharing yourself because you're a wonderful gal and we love you.
I know I'm new here, but isn't it time for artifacts?
You named it.
Good day. I'm Roberta Bassine, and this is Artifacts, and today we're going to talk about this beautiful landscape painting called Edge of Field by Maurice Braun. Braun was a painter who was the heart of the community of art in the San Diego area, where he died in 1941. Many people think of him as an impressionist, but he liked to think of himself as a nature lover who just happened to be an artist. One of the things that makes Braun different from most landscape artists is that he didn't paint outdoors, nor did he paint from outdoor photographs. What he did was make detailed outdoor sketches of leaves and trees and rocks and grass, individual little details. Back in the studio, he assembled those details into a delicate relationship of line, form, and color that he called the essence of nature's structures. He said, landscape shouldn't be taken too literally. It is what we visualize and the interpretation we give the fantasy of our mind that counts. In other words, it's all about perspective, both visual and imaginary. So what we see here is a composition that's divided into thirds, like most compositions of landscapes are. It's a three-dimensional world created by linear perspective on a two-dimensional canvas. It's anchored at the bottom by these big mounds of grass. These and the orange and yellow leaves on the trees are done with big brush strokes and lots of paint. It's impressionistic. A variety of colors and light reflecting off the oil paint add volume, lots of volume, and texture with movement. Above the grasses, Braun starts smoothing that texture by thinning the paint to show off these intricate lines of the trees on either side of a small fence with a little tiny gate in it. This gate is one of my favorite parts of the painting because it is so small and you have to stand way back to really see it. If you get close, it looks like just another blob of paint. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Braun then used atmospheric or aerial perspective to make the mountains look far away. Atmospheric perspective is the effect that the air and the water that we look through to see something in the distance has on our vision. They recede into the distance and turn purple and blue, especially if they're mountains, just like we see here. Finally, on the horizon, the mountains point to the sky that has just a touch of pink in it, and that reflects back down into the middle of the piece because the use here is of brighter, warmer colors that are reflected and added even more depth. The edge of field is typical of Braun's work, glowing, peaceful in its own way, inviting us to imagine what we might find if we pass through that little tiny gate. Have a look at this painting in the main manor lobby just to the right of the elevators. Where will it take your imagination?
Thank you, Roberta. I am going to have to get down there to see that. They always amaze me with some of these most beautiful, creative art that we have here in our museum at the Rogue Valley Manor.
Exactly.
Well, Debbie, thank you so much for being brave.
Yeah.
Being brave and joining us here for our show. We have to acknowledge the fact that our dear brother Joel has moved on. He's gone on to greener pastures, and but this show was really truly. We shared the creativity in it, but Joel is such a force, and he really was our cheerleader and got us started in doing this, and it's really turned out to be such a blessing to me personally, and I've had so many residents and employees that have appreciated this effort, and that's why we're doing this. Is we do want you to know how much we care. We want you to know we're all still here, and we love you. And we're moving forward, and I love that too.
Yeah.
That it feels like things are opening up. It feels like life is starting to roll along. And if you will, we want to continue doing this show for all those reasons and more, hopefully. So, good day, RVM. It's a new day.
Let's stay connected.
Hi, my name's Lee and I'm with the Wellness Department. With the warmer weather upon us, many of us will start spending more time outside. Perhaps you may go for a hike, or you play tennis or golf, or you may even have a family member that's playing soccer or baseball, and so you might be outside as a spectator. But with that in mind, I thought I would pass along some information in regards to heat exhaustion and dehydration. First, I'm going to talk about some ways to prevent heat exhaustion and dehydration, and then some symptoms, and then some ways to treat heat exhaustion and dehydration. To prevent heat exhaustion or dehydration, make sure you drink plenty of water a couple of hours before your activity, during your activity, and after your activity. And try to wear loose-fitting or lightweight clothing. Try to avoid bulky or heavy items such as a hoodie or jacket, things like that. And then if you can, try to avoid the sunlight. Find shade if possible. And then be aware of the weather conditions. So not only air temperature, you should also consider what the humidity is. High humidity will impact the body's ability to cool down. Both humidity and temperature are available on the website weather.com. Some symptoms of heat exhaustion or dehydration include confusion, dizziness, headache, muscle cramping or abdominal pain, nausea, pale skin, and rapid heartbeat. If you or anyone else has symptoms of heat exhaustion, it's very important to immediately get out of the heat and rest, preferably in an air-conditioned room. If you can't get inside, try to find the nearest cool and shady place. Other recommended strategies include drinking plenty of fluids. Sports drinks in particular could help replace lost salt, things like Gatorade. Try to avoid caffeine and alcohol, since those are both diuretics. Remove any tight or unnecessary clothing. Take a cool shower or bath, and apply other cooling measures such as a cold towel or fan. Also keep in mind that very young children or elderly can be particularly vulnerable to heat exhaustion because their bodies adjust to heat more slowly. So that's it. I hope you stay safe this summer, and please give us a call at 7405 if you have any questions.